Peace and love, everybody, and welcome here for today's broadcast. I know that we usually go live on Sundays at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, but we're here, as I shared this past Sunday, that we'd be going live today, which is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. And so it's Black History Month, and part of what I'm offering or bringing in honor of the celebration of Black History Month. I think there's a lot to be celebrated about it. Um, and as a person who is blessed to be able to work in the area of healing, as I thankfully am, I've been wanting to put some focus dealing with healing the collective trauma of Black people in America. Certainly, this is an actual thing. And if you feel like you know some people who would be blessed by this, please share this with them because I really want this to get out as much as possible. I'm really very much about healing. And whereas the work that I do in Transcending the Matrix, which is a holistic methodology of healing that looks at the total person, and yes, while it deals with pain elimination, and yes, while it deals with eliminating forms of physical dis-ease from within the body temple, actually all dis-ease, all sickness, all pain, anything that is in the body that is out of harmony, that's not in a state of homeostasis, is the result of something going on in other aspects of our existence, maybe something emotionally or mentally, psychologically, spiritually. And so we bring this holistic methodology to be able to help people, and we've helped people experience medical miracles. And I'm very thankful to be able to do that. It was a joy and an honor and a privilege to be able to help someone earlier today, and they were in tears about it being relieved from the pain as we worked together over the phone, although we don't speak the same language and we had an interpreter. But I was very thankful for that, and I'm always very thankful for that. Anytime I can help someone become free of pain or some other area that they need healing individually in their life, I'm happy to do that. It's a joy and a privilege and an honor, like I said earlier, for me to be able to do that. And that's wonderful. I'm glad to do that. But beyond that, for me, this is something that's very spiritual for me. All right. I believe that the more healed we all are, the more healed we all are. In a very real way, I'm engaged in a global peace mission. Okay. Demonstrating not only God as being a healer, the source of all existence, as being a healer, that nothing is beyond God's healing power. And I'm very thankful to be able to demonstrate that, but also in a very real way to demonstrate our oneness, to create a sense of unity amongst humanity. And whereas we have all of these things in this matrix of third dimensional beliefs of separation and limitation that seem to limit us from being the fullness of who it is that we really are, that seem to keep us separated from each other based on perhaps ethnicity or gender or age or socioeconomic background or um, ideologies and all of these different things that we use to like separate ourselves from each other that we're really doing excuse me, out of a sense of fear. Okay. And my goal is certainly to help spread the awareness, the conscious awareness of the oneness of all humanity, in fact, the oneness of all life, so that we can actually live authentically in a state of peace and harmony and love. Okay. And as an African American, I've been Black all my life. And it's something that I celebrate, something that is certainly particularly close to my heart is the collective trauma that Black people in America have experienced. Okay. And so we did some healing on this past Sunday. If you didn't catch that broadcast, I invite you to go check out that broadcast from this past Sunday on healing the collective trauma of Black people in America. That was part one. This is part two. And so what happens is that, yeah, in the African American community, people are have a much higher rate of having heart disease, of having high blood pressure, of, the life expectancy is shorter. There's a It's something that I hate to see, just because I have a profound love and a respect for the black woman. And that's something that I hate to see is how Black women end up being labeled as angry in all of this. How Black men end up being labeled as aggressive in all of this. And so there's a lot of pinned up trauma that exists. There's a lot of trauma that needs to be cleared out. And so I want to again come here today to offer some healing with respect to that. All right. I want to offer some healing with respect to that. A reality is that there has been trauma that's been experienced throughout our ancestry, that's been passed down from one generation to the next until that cycle is broken, until that issue is healed. It's being passed down in the genes. It's in the cellular memory. We're born with some of this unresolved trauma. The reality is that we experience the fruit of blessings that we didn't earn, things that were paved for those who came before us, and yes, things that they weren't able to resolve in their lifetime. We have the opportunity to heal some of those things. So even as you are healed, those in your ancestral lineage get to be healed as well. Those who come after you in future generations get to be, um, in a sense, healed as well, where they won't have to necessarily go through some of those same things, some of those same challenges. And so we welcome everybody who's here today. Ronnie Hall, good to see you this evening. We welcome everybody who's here, and I would ask that if you would share this with anyone who is melanated, because again, I want this to get out. I want as much healing to go forth as possible. I want people to be truly free, to be truly, truly, truly free. All right. And so we're going to go ahead and get into the healing. I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking today. I'm going to just go ahead and get into the healing. We started some things Sunday, but there's a lot there. My intention is that this healing is going out to the collective. All right. The reality is I'm one man. And yes, I believe in this methodology. But the more this can be spread out, the better it is, the more useful it is for everybody. I want this healing to reach as many people as possible. I want as many of us as possible to be free, to be made whole, right? To exist in the fullness of who we are, celebrating Black girl magic and Black boy joy, operating in that unique flavor of the seasoning with which we flow, right? Without the negativity, the pain, the trauma. Not that we forget the history, not that we forget the past, but that we're able to take and summon the strength of character that comes from the things that we've historically been through and channel that into constructive ways that build up the community, that build up our families, that build us up as a people, right? And so let's go ahead and get into this today. And so I'm going to start with a prayer and we'll get into the healing. So, God, you who is the source of all life, you who breathe the breath of life into us, you who knitted us in our mother's womb and created in us the magic of melanin. You who uh, planted within our follicles the seeds of hair that would grow in a way that defies gravity. You who has given us a broad spectrum of a rainbow of browns. Hmm. God, we celebrate you and honor you as the source of all healing, knowing that nothing is beyond your healing power. And on this evening, I call forth your healing on the behalf of melanated people within the diaspora, particularly in the Americas, and even more specifically, North America and the United States of America, neutralizing the root cause of the collective trauma that goes back even before the Middle Passage, dealing with the entirety of the collective trauma from the root cause of the transatlantic slave trade, from slavery, from the pain of the creation of this thing called race as a way to separate and divide based on skin tone and ethnicity and all of the ways in which that has continually manifested throughout American history in terms of racial profiling, police brutality, justice system that does not honor uh, true justice, and all of the microaggressions that have been suffered throughout his story. From the point of the causal root and the entire integrated structure of every strand of DNA of every melanated person, so aforementioned, and transmuting it into and replacing it with a sense of utter and complete celebration, utter and complete celebration of the skin that we're in, utter and complete celebration of a sense of true freedom, true liberation, true enlightenment, true activation of the magic of melanin within us, and a true sense of self and identity that is rooted in our innate divinity. Hmm. And I bear witness to our wholeness on this date and in this time and space called now. Thank you, God. Thank you for this gift of your divine love. It is done. It is done. It is done. Ashe and amen. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the healing now. So I want to, and I know some of, like I said, there are a lot of different things that we focused on Sunday. We'll continue to focus on different things that come up. Right now, I'm going to actually start off. One of the things I want to start off with a sense of inferiority within the collective consciousness of humanity, based on colorism. All right. This extends actually globally, even in Asian countries, not even just specifically of Black folks, but let's deal with this neutralizing within the collective consciousness of humanity. Uh, this whole thing from the root cause of colorism, as well as all cumulative effects, and any sense of inferiority based on uh, that concept within the collective consciousness of humanity. within the collective consciousness of the Western world. Okay, and transmute that into just completely neutralizing that. And neither even having necessarily a sense of superiority either, because that's based off of insecurity also, but a sense of at one with the divine. One who knows their oneness with the divine can never feel inferior to another. All right. With respect to that, something that's coming up, I think of a friend of mine, chief in the Gambia, West Africa, uh, who shared that, in many parts of the African continent, if you're running late for church and you get there late and you're unable to get in, but you saw a white man along the way of your journey, you're okay because you had seen God. I've also seen situations where a lot of places within the African continent today where it's difficult to find lotion that doesn't have skin whiteners or skin bleach in it. Okay. So we want to neutralize um, that sense of mental programming, those psychological imprints. All right. In a lot of situations, there's been the presentation of Jesus as one with blonde hair and blue eyes. And while there's value, I believe there's value in everybody being able to see themselves, a reflection of themselves um, in Jesus, and everyone who's Christian. But to impose that on other people, that's a whole different thing in and of itself. All right. So let's look at deleting hmm, deleting false teachings regarding the superiority of one skin tone and the inferiority of another. Okay, we want to delete that from within the entire cellular structure and within the entire central nervous system, particularly near the base of the spine. Okay, from the cerebral spinal fluid, from the solar plexus, optimizing a sense of authentic empowerment. Okay, from the pituitary body in the brain, from the visual cortex in the back of the brain, in terms of um, instant judgments that we might have based on what it is that we see, based on in terms of relationship between what the programming has been and what it is that we see. Okay. All right, let's also look at transmuting all of that into um, feeling the presence of God activated in one's own melanin. Okay. Feeling the presence of God activated um, throughout uh, the dermis and the epidermis. Okay. All right. Now I want to focus on. Um, I want to focus on subconscious programming that's taken place within the reticular activating system in the brain, based on things that have been heard and seen and taken in from the physical senses that convey messaging of racial inferiority, or where one's skin has been weaponized. All right, want to totally delete that, neutralize and delete that, transmute it into, transmute that into a feeling of being safe wherever you are, whether you see people who look externally like you or not. Okay, let's look at. I want to deal with. Malcolm X talked about the house Negro and the field Negro. Let's deal with that mentality. Okay, the us versus them uh, mentality mindset within within the Black community. Want to delete that and transmute that into embracing a sense of overall oneness and complete celebration of the uh, various concentrations of melanin. I'll put it that way. Okay. And being able to celebrate that wherever one is on that spectrum, or wherever one is on that in that rainbow of browns, if you will. Wonderful children's book by that name, by the way. I may want to check it out on Amazon. Okay, and okay, and let's look at right now. I want to look at um, feeling of one's skin being a cause for punishment. One's skin being a cause for punishment. Um, one's skin being something that creates a sense of danger, or being perceived as a threat, or being perceived as a criminal, or being perceived as aggressive, or being perceived as angry. Want to deal with what W.B. Du Bois talked about having to have like a double consciousness from existing in two worlds. What we in today's terms refer to as code switching, as a way to successfully navigate the two worlds that most melanated people find themselves needing to exist within. Okay. And now let's actually build up um, and strengthen feeling safe to be 100% completely authentic all the time, regardless of whose presence one is in. Feeling the need to, I look at uh, within the culture, feeling a need to sometimes sell out to get ahead, and want to replace that with uh, feeling complete confidence in the ability to remain one's true authentic self and still be able to progress professionally. Okay. And to be able to um, have that spirit of Sankofa, be able to move forward while never forgetting the value that came from the past, the value, the wealth of riches that came uh, from the past, from the ancestors, from things that have unfolded it historically, but to be able to continue to move forward. Okay. All right. Let's also actually strengthen, want to actually strengthen the DNA. Want to actually strengthen the DNA and upgrade the nervous system to increase the gauging on the nervous system to be able to handle more, frankly. Uh, to free one from being as susceptible to burnout, to being stressed out, and to be able to handle um, higher frequencies of light. Okay. The beauty of the melanated skin is its ability to absorb light. Okay, and this that's on a physical level. On a spiritual level, want to optimize the ability to be able to absorb light spiritually. In other words, take in higher levels of consciousness, and then to be able to, um, in the act of living out of one's life, from the personal standpoint as well as the communal standpoint, to be able to operate and flow in the light. Okay. In other words, to be able to flow in a sense of enlightenment. Right? To be able to um, actively access uh, the divinity within unapologetically, and to be able to experience the celebration of that within the community. All right. All right. Now let's take a look at for a moment. Let's take a look for a moment at, I know that we dealt some with, with ancestry on Sunday, but I want to address it from a little bit of a different angle right now. And so, what I want to address as far as the ancestry is concerned right now, uh, the expectation. Hmm, I want to be mindful of how I word this. The expectation of being treated more harshly because of one's melanin, and yet be able to still master the level of character building and intestinal fortitude that has come from actually having to endure what may be referred to as the black tax. All right. And to be able to actively, uh, in a true sense of mastery, to be able to demonstrate black excellence. All righty. Now, within the ancestral lineage, want to take history and tradition of soulfulness that in some cases um, we may have sacrificed in an attempt to go along to get along, or even to try to have what's been withheld from us so long. And so then, in some way, we forgot our soul, or we neglected our soul, or maybe even betrayed our soul. So I'm going to go back with respect to that. I'm going to go back 13 generations. This could include situations of passing. This can include situations of, like I said earlier, about the code switching and things of that nature. Uh, this could include experiences and feelings of rejection from within our own community. And within the own community, seeing ourselves as too black or not black enough, or one another as too black or not black enough. All right. And all the ways that that has been, a part of the collective experience as well as the individual experience. Actually, is coming up more as in terms of the individual experience. So we want to neutralize that. We want to transmute it into and replace it with a true sense of community, of common unity. And really infuse a consciousness of, or restore a consciousness of each one reach one, of I am therefore we are, of we are therefore I am, a consciousness of I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper. And now I want to actually focus on actually opening up our spiritual vision. Mm. Opening up our spiritual vision and clarifying our spiritual vision to be able to see the divinity within ourselves and the clarity of spiritual vision to be able to see in equal proportion the divinity within one another. Mm. All righty. All right. Now, what I also want to deal with respect to that is I want to address specifically right now the family. Um, in 2024, uh, a experience that's observed in 2024 from a statistical standpoint is that there's a disproportional um, number of families within the African American community that are not two parent homes. I believe that's is systematically designed that way, and it's been unfolding that way. Um, but let's actually address that in terms of a distrust that has um, been really a part of the programming, yes, but the distrust that's nonetheless manifested between Black men and Black women, and want to transmute that into and replace it with a sense of trust and honor and respect and love and unity and wholeness. And again, the being able to see and honor the divinity within self and one another. Okay. All right, let's look now at want to look now at within, again, this is dealing with the ancestral, things on the ancestral level of um, specifically with the lineage related to men, of feeling disempowered by knowing that one's family could be taken away from him, that one's family could be sold off, that one's wife or one's daughter or one's sister could be raped without consequences, without legal consequences. Want to neutralize that sense of disempowerment and that sense of helplessness and transmute it into an anger and feelings of inadequacy and transmute that into authentic empowerment. Want to transmute any desire for retribution into a sense of complete empowerment and restoration of the family. Okay. And we're going back in terms of the ancestral lineage and healing this within the ancestral lineage and bringing it forward. Okay. And I want to deal specifically in terms of the women and feeling any sense of disempowerment they could or being able to be taken at any time. Within my own family, my great grandmother, my father's mother's mother, nobody knows who her mother is or who her brother's mother is. Everyone knows that they have the same mother and have their same father. Everybody knows that their father is a white man who had a whole family. Nobody knows who the Black mother is. Um, at any rate, so let's look at this in terms of woman not feeling historically, ancestrally, woman not feeling safe with her own body. Okay, as it relates to um, perhaps the non-melanated male who had some sense of control or exerted some sense of control, uh, or the melanated male even who may have taken out his frustrations in some way in form of sexual or physical abuse. We want to transmute that transmute that trauma, that sexual trauma, as well as that otherwise physical trauma and emotional trauma. We want to transmute that um, into a sense of divine empowerment, uh, a divine forgiveness. Divine forgiveness, light and love, and feeling safe to be both strong and soft at the same time. Of feeling protected, of feeling covered, of feeling taken care of. All right. Okay. And truly, truly, truly feeling safe without having to put up a bunch of walls or defenses, but just innately feeling safe. And want to create within the aura of uh, both the male and the female to be able to strengthen the filters. A lot of times we have filters in terms of the matrix of illusion through which we're seeing ourselves, one another, and all life circumstances. So we're not seeing things. We're caught up in the Maya. We're caught up in the illusion. We're not seeing things as they are. We haven't pierced the veil. Okay. Uh, let's actually, and we're seeing things through that filter in a negative way. We want to create within our aura and extend it, um, a filter that only allows the good to come through, where the lower vibrational frequencies can't come in. They're too thick and they're too heavy to be able to pass through the filter. All right. So only love comes in. Only light comes in. Only goodness comes in. Only blessings come in. And all of the negativity, all of the low vibrational frequencies that might be directed towards us, those aren't able to get through the filter. So let's strengthen that auric field, if you will, to be able to more effectively filter out all of that negativity from entering into our vibration, collectively and individually. Now, we already did some things to actually help um, upgrade our nervous system to be able to handle greater infusions of light. And with respect to that, let's now um, infuse the frequency of light from within us and allow that to be further activated to be further activated from within us. Mm. And extending beyond us. So darkness is just the absence of light. Okay. In the presence of the light, the darkness disappears. And then darkness now, I'm not talking about the skin. I'm talking about negative energy, if you will. Okay. So in increasing the um, infusion of light and the expression of light so that the totality of our bodies are really uh, glowing brightly, that there is, um, optimized, activated photons of light within our cellular structure and within our auric field. Okay. All right. Within every cell of the body, within every cell of the body, there are atomic particles. Within every cell of the body, there are atoms. In every atom, there is an atomic sun, and there are atomic particles that are revolving around that atomic sun, just as the Earth and the Moon, and Venus and Mercury and Mars and Uranus and Jupiter and Saturn are revolving around the sun. And just as our whole solar system is revolving around the galactic sun at the center of the Milky Way, so too, as above, so below, so too, at our most, um, at our smallest physical level, there is light, an atomic sun, which is a beam of light within the atom and particles revolving around it. Let's optimize the efficiency and the brilliance of the atomic sun within each atom, within each cell of our bodies, and also optimize our immune system. Mm. Not only our physical immune system, but also our spiritual immune system. There are a lot of things that exist within, within society that actually seek to chip away at our spiritual immune system, if you will, to make it, to dim our light. All right. So we want to actually strengthen our spiritual immune system to operate at optimal efficiency and to dwell in the utmost confidence of the optimal efficiency of our spiritual immune system, while simultaneously creating greater intentionality about what it is that we entertain, um, what it is that we pay attention to, what it is that we financially support, what it is that we give our energy and attention to, so that we're empowering that which empowers us. Where we put our money is where we put our power. Where we put our thought processes, where we put our uh, attention is where we're putting our energy. All right. And where we're putting our energy is where we are creating within the earth realm our reality. All right. And so let's actually strengthen a sense of, of resolve in terms of creating something that is sustainable and serves our highest and best good and the highest and best good of everyone involved. Ah, all right. And now let's look at future generations. All right. Creating a sense of healing within future generations so that we no longer feel a need to pass down our trauma to future generations. That we no longer feel a need to pass down our pain to future generations, but where we do pass down our wisdom to future generations. All right. Okay. And so, um, really, in essence, transmuting all of that collective trauma into collective wholeness, collective oneness, collective enlightenment, which enlightenment Enlightenment, liberation, salvation, they're really all the same thing. Okay. All right. Speaking of which, let's deal real quickly with um want to deal real quickly with so really essentially all of the decisions that we make and all of the things that we do is because we're in one way or another seeking salvation. Hmm. Seeking salvation from a feeling that we don't want to have, right? And a lot of the decisions that we make, the things that we use to distract ourselves from feelings that we don't want to have, the things that we do, whether it's this particular thing that is damaging to our body or this particular thing that is damaging to our relationships or this particular thing that's damaging to our soul, we're really seeking, in essence, to avoid having to experience a feeling that we don't want to have. And the true way to experience the feeling of what we don't want to have is really an act of spiritual transmutation. Okay. And so let's actually optimize our um, our powers of spiritual alchemy. And what alchemy essentially is taking a lower level vibration of something and transmuting it into a higher vibration of something. Okay. And so want to transmute that pain and that fear of pain into authentic power, authentic empowerment, and peace without having to necessarily have the pain to get there, but also not being afraid of the pain. And even when necessary, facing and challenging the pain in order to have power over the pain and to be able to have, therefore, the victory over that pain. All right. Mm, I'm feeling some things shifting with that one. Oh, goodness. All right. So at this point, we're going to get ready to wrap things up. Again, share this with people. If you're watching on YouTube, please text it to people on YouTube. On the If you're not watching on YouTube, it's the Matrix Healing channel on YouTube. Matrix Healing is one word. Matrix Healing. Share this with people, send it to them in a text, if you will. And when you're sharing it with them, not only just send it to them, but share something about why you want them to watch it. Share why you want them to watch it, because otherwise somebody's not going to feel inclined to actually open it. Okay. If you're not already subscribed to the Matrix Healing YouTube channel, please do so. And please click the like on the video if you would. It helps the algorithm. I want to be able to reach as many people as possible. I want this healing to spread and reach people. I want this healing to reach as many people as possible. I want us to be authentically empowered. I want us to be able to live in the fullness of who it is that we are, for us to be able to activate the divinity within the physicality. Okay. And so this is my way of being able to contribute to us getting there, to us being there. And this is something I'm very passionate about. If you want to see your people elevate, I ask that you share it with as many people as you can. All right. If you're at all interested in the work that we're doing, this work that is transcending the matrix, feel free to reach out to me directly on either Facebook or on Instagram at Royce Fletcher Thomason. and just let me know. This is some beautiful work that I get to do. And while I love engaging in this particular form of service work, if you will, what I also deeply value is being able to share it with other people. Okay. The seeds of divinity are within all of us. The ability to participate in the healing of oneself and others is within all of us. It just needs to be able to access. I'm happy to share with you the access to it. I've been blessed with a key, and I'm happy to give you a copy of the key that I've got. I want us to all be empowered. I want as many of it. I want the healing to spread as much as is possible. Okay. And so, again, if you're at all interested in this, please share it with whoever you feel inclined that you think also would, and reach out to me and share your interest, and we can have a conversation. If you feel blessed by what it is that we've been doing, you can also contribute to this work. You can donate at dollar sign on Cash App via dollar sign Royce F. Thomason, or via Zelle at Royce Thomason at yahoo.com, if you feel so inclined. But even if you don't, I do ask that you share this, pass it on, pass it on, so that this healing can reach as many people as possible. All right. Again, that's what I'm about. That's what I'm going to continue to be about as long as I'm breathing. And then when I'm no longer breathing, I'm still going to be about this from the spirit realm when I'm in the realm of the ancestors. Right. Anyway, this wraps us up for today. I again wish you a wonderful balance of your day, a wonderful rest of this Black History Month. Again, if you've been blessed by this, share it with somebody so that they can be blessed too. There was some powerful healing that was actually taking place today. Whether you recognize it or not, there were some powerful things that were taking place within the spirit realm. There were some powerful things that were taking place within the quantum field. There were some powerful things that were taking place within the cellular structure of those who've chosen to participate in this. And so I encourage you again to share this with anybody you feel will be blessed by it. And anybody you share with it who actually checks us out is going to be blessed by it, whether they consciously even recognize it or not. All right. So until next time, I bid you adieu as we endeavor to enter into this sustainable state of supreme satisfaction. And I send you, as always, peace and love. Catch you next time.